After a long wait, here is now a spoiler for the most awaited chapter of Chapter 232, where we will witness the countdown to round 2 of Gojo versus Sukuna. And now we will see if Gojo can actually defeat Sukuna before he can adapt his infinity or not the other way around. And since we have been waiting for this for a long time, we will not wait any longer. Let's start. In the first scene, you will immediately see that Maharaga's wheel has turned for the second time, and just to be clear, Maharaga needs 4 spins here to adapt Gojo's infinity. And now that the wheel has turned for the second time, that means that there are only 2 rounds left and Gojo's infinity will be adapted. And it is obvious here that Gojo uses his blue technique to attack Sukuna, where the rest of our boys who are now focused on the stream are shouting that Gojo's needs to hurry because Maharaga's wheel has turned for the second time. After that, Gojo made blue orbs using his blue curse technique, where he surrounded Sukuna with those orbs, and these orbs absorbed or destroyed by this passage, so Sukuna immediately avoided it. But Gojo didn't let that moment pass, because while Sukuna was busy, Gojo went right up and kicked the King of Curses. After that, Maharaga's wheel turned again for the 3rd time, so now only 1 spin is needed. And when our boys saw this, it was here that they worried about it, and Yuji specifically wondered how Maharaga adapted the technique. And here Kusakabe said that Gojo only uses blue now, which Kishimo Hajime replied that it might be possible for Maharaga to adapt infinity even though Gojo only uses blue now. Let's go back to Gojo. Here Gojo is still being aggressive and attacks Sukuna with his blue to give him the impression of the King of Curses that he will only use blue. However, Sukuna was getting close and possibly activated his domain amplification to touch Gojo. Then Gojo suddenly attacked with red and directly hit Sukuna there. But it didn't really cause any damage to Sukuna, since just in time before he was hit by red, he activated his domain amplification. And we know that domain amplification negates or bypasses curse techniques, so Gojo's red did not cause much damage. However, Sukuna didn't fully neutralize the red attack either, because it is said that this red is an enhancement to Gojo's Limitless, which is as of now I can't really determine what is the difference between red and red enhancement with Limitless. Anyways, Sukuna told Gojo here that he is getting sloppy and is becoming too hesitant in his moves due to the reason that Sukuna can now read Gojo's attacks. And Sukuna was suddenly hit in the back by Gojo's curse technique red. And that red is the red that Gojo released earlier that returned to Sukuna after it circled the building. And it was here that Gojo hit Sukuna after being hit by a very solid red. And the blow that now greeted Sukuna's was a black flash, a type of attack that is much stronger than a normal punch with curse energy infused. And considering that Gojo's blow is stronger compared to other sorcerers, and at that moment Gojo's release to Sukuna directly is still a black flash, it was because Gojo's black flash was so strong that Sukuna's eyes turned white. Seriously, for the very first time we finally saw Gojo's black flash in action. And look at the reaction of our boys after the release of Gojo's black flash. And look at Yuta's reaction here, who were stunned. And Shoko also lost her poker phase. Fortunately, for the 4th time, Maharaga's wheel spun again. Therefore, it was here that Gojo was suddenly trapped in a shadow, and then Yuta and Yuji shouted and worried about Gojo, and Maharaga suddenly came out of that shadow and slashed Gojo directly. Gojo is so shocked, and now that Maharaga has adapted his infinity. Because unfortunately, Gojo did not succeed in ending Sukuna right away. Because even though Gojo punched this Sukuna with a solid black flash, it was in return that Maharaga completely adapted to Gojo's infinity. Which is at the moment, it is not clear how Maharaga adapted Gojo's infinity from Gojo's black flash attack. Gojo is no longer untouchable. And at the end of this video, like and subscribe if you want the full chapter review once it's out. And that's it, fans. See you in the next video. Goodbye.